Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today is the update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. Everything you need to know is linked down below. I don't even know exactly what's down there, but I promise everything you need to know is down below. I'm gonna go over my rules very quickly. My goal is to either hit pan in an eyeshadow, or I have to keep it in for 2 months and then I can roll it out if I want to. I'm not doing usage goals because I didn't like that. And I am using the prompts that Makeup with Laney made. She's also linked down below, as well as the prompts. And I want to use or do like every prompt. I don't want to say this year because I've been doing this since last year. So basically you roll a prompt and then you pick your eyeshadow, which has worked for me very nicely. If I roll a shadow out without pan, then that prompt stays in my spreadsheet so I can roll it again. If I hit pan, the prompt is removed. So that being said, let's check out my eyeshadows. I'm going to start with the ones that were in the longest and work my way up to the newest. And I'm going to start with the one that doesn't really have any progress. Well, doesn't have any progress. And this was rolled in for the prompt an indie shadow. I rolled a shadow from my Peacock Feathers palette by Mica Beauty Shop, who I love. I love that brand. This is what the palette looks like. It is fairly new. I just chose the wrong shade. That's what happened. I rolled in Lady Peacock, which is right here, just like a bluey green, and I just don't wear those shades enough. I did not touch it this month, which is a shame, but it's also okay because that's definitely telling me that this is not a shadow that I want to work on right now. I previously used it twice, so barely any progress on this shadow. It is okay. I'm gonna roll this shadow out and the prompt's gonna stay in, and who knows what I get to pick for the prompt indie shadow again. It was just not the right pick for the right moment, and that happens. It's okay. So moving on to the next shadow. This was rolled in for the prompt a Colourpop Matte, and I rolled in the shade Bare to Wear from the Colourpop Nude Mood palette. This is what it's looking like. You can barely see that I've used it. It is just your standard transition shade. It works fine. I did like it. I even put it in my Pan That Palette Roulette, so it's gonna stay in there. I'm gonna roll it out of this project because I don't feel like working on that until I've hit pan. That's gonna take a while, and I've got my eyes set on a different Colourpop Matte for this prompt. So if I roll this prompt again, I know what I want to pick, if it's the right time of year. Yeah, so that is also rolling out. And I previously used that shadow 13 times. This month I've used it 11 times. So that's a total of 24. It doesn't look like it at all, I know, but I promise, 24 uses. Then I have the prompt starts with G, and I rolled in my Milani Gilded Terra palette. Now, last month, I told you guys I previously rolled a shade from this palette called Good to Grow, and I did not like it. So I switched it out for a shadow that's in here that also starts with G, that I did not notice when I rolled in that first one. And it is the shade Glamping, and it is right here. It's like a gold, like an orangey gold, and hopefully you can see I was able to hit pan in this. So I used this 5 times and then I hit pan, which is crazy because that's not a lot of uses. I'm gonna talk about the formula in a second because there's another shadow in this palette that I'm working on, and that is for the prompt Inner Corner Highlight. And I am working on the shade Enjoy the View, again from the Milani Gilded Terra palette. It is right here. I'm starting to get a slight dip. Okay, so this formula, I am not impressed. I don't know if you can tell. I feel like you can see on the gold shadow mostly. Do you see that like texture? It almost looks like there's Harpan. And that gold shadow, those 5 uses, I had to like roughly rub my brush into this to get some product to put on my eye. And even then, half of it fell on my face, but I could not pick up less because it just wouldn't show up. So Enjoy the View is staying in, Glamping is rolling out, and I just hope I hit pan on that inner corner highlight shade soon, because I don't really know what to think of this formula. But moving on, we have for the prompt a shadow from a monochromatic palette, the shade Dull, out of my Beauty Bay Berries palette. I have used this 6 times with a fluffy brush, so barely, well, dare I say no visible usage, but 6 uses on this. It's a fine shadow. I don't love my pinks, but I can keep working on this. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the inner corner highlight shade I've used 16 times so far. And then last was the prompt, starts with J, and I rolled in a shadow from my Beauty Bay Tropical palette, and it was the shade Jellyfish, which is in the corner right here. And you can hopefully see that I was able to hit pan on this as well. And it took me 7 uses, which isn't a lot, but Beauty Bay is known for their shallow eyeshadow pans. So 7 uses on that. Again, I'm not a big fan of pink, but it was a good shade. I could work with it. So that means we have 4 rollouts. I'm gonna update my wheel because some of these prompts I've completed and some I did not, so those are gonna stay in. So I'm gonna update it and then come back and we can roll 4 new shadows. Okay, seems like I already updated this before filming. So here we go, 4 new prompts. First one is shadow that starts with H. I'm gonna have to start up my computer and check my spreadsheet. A to Z roulette. Okay, so we're gonna pick another letter from the alphabet. A shadow you want to pan. Ooh, okay. And last one, Duochrome shadow. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna check my spreadsheet. Oh no, we have to do the A to Z roulette. There's a little wheel. Oh, there we go. We have the letter Y. Y, literally Y. Okay, I'm gonna see if I have eyeshadows that starts with Y. I'm not really sure. And I'll be right back with all of my shadows. Okay, gosh, this was a wild ride, but I figured it out. I will show you swatches in a second. We are gonna start with shadow that starts with H. I am rolling in my Beauty Bay Brights palette, or Bright palette. I keep calling it my Brights palette. This is what it looks like, and we're gonna be working on this shimmery purple called Heather. I've used this like once or twice. I think, considering my matte pink that's staying in, this was a good option. I did not have that many options with H. I had even more limited options with Y. I am rolling in my Juvia's Place Magic Mini palette. This is gonna be, I mean, I took it easy on myself. I'm rolling in this shade right here called Yamoya, if that's how you pronounce it. And this already has quite a dip. This was in, I want to say Lord of the Rings project pan right before the end, so I never managed to hit pan, but I am very close if I'm looking at the other ones that have pan. So that's an easy one, but you know what? That's that. Then a duochrome shadow. Now this one, this was difficult because I had quite a few like pinky purple duochromes and I did not really want to roll in anything pinky purple. So I am gonna roll in my Kimchi Chic palette, the orange version. And I'm rolling in this shade right here. Now this also was, I think, once in Pamela's eyeshadows, like long ago. And this is a orange to pink sort of duochrome. I think it's duochrome. I classify it as duochrome. So I'm rolling that in. And then I looked at my color story and was like, what color do I want to add? Because I have the prompt, something you want to pan. And I opted for yellow. I love my warm tones. I love my yellows. I love my oranges. So I'm going with yellow, and I'm going with the yellow from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. And this is that yellow right here. You can see there's some slight usage on this. This was my Project Level Up Level 3 palette, but I hit pan in all three of the shimmers. So I'm going to be working on that yellow. I have no idea if I can even get close to hitting pan, but I looked at my color story and was like, yes, I want a yellow. I need a yellow. So this is the color story that I'm going to be working on. So right here we have Beauty Bay's Doll from the Berries palette that's staying in. This is that inner corner highlight shade from the Milani Gilded Terra palette. Then we have the shade Heather from the Beauty Bay Bright palette. The shade Yamoya from the Juvia's Place Magic Mini palette. This is that orange, I hope you can see, it's like orange to pinky duochrome shadow from the Kimchi Chic palette. And then here's the yellow from the Zulu palette. So this is the color story. Honestly, the silver makes no sense, but I'm hoping to have that rolling out in like a few uses. And then it still doesn't really make any sense, but it's very spring, I feel like. And I'm ready for spring. And I was ready for some warmer tones. So I'm happy with this orange and this yellow. And then that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.